Hey, there we are. Welcome back to Aether Eternius, Dark Side of the Foundry. I will also say a preface for everyone today. This is going to be very much a more chill session, as I am going to be handing over the reins to the players for today. They'll be steering the ship. So the stage is going to be open for them to do as they would like today. If there's any tasks that their characters would like to go on, shopping trips, etc., the floor will be open to them.
It's an RP day!
It's a very, well, I mean, every day is RP day here, let's be fair.
Shopping day. Cool.
But it's definitely a case of, I do have plans, I will say that, but I would like to give you guys the stage for today.
It's the shopping episode.
Where we last left off, the group had started their break. Well, started was the key term, and had gotten a chance to kind of rest finally for the night after their harrowing ordeals in the plane of water. After a quiet night, they awoke to a rather turbulent morning, with Frias having a bit of a late night snacking issue.
Nom nom.
Various being terrified of Frias' new form, and everyone else learning about that. But also a bit of a silly late night fling with Tibbs and Flicks as per usual. But as the group was winding down from the morning and kind of getting their bearings, enjoying a nice delicious breakfast of waffles supplied by Tibbs and Flicks from an unknown source, they don't know where those came from, there was a knock at their door. And it had been Amadeus, the scholar that they had aided back in Wind. Amadeus required their help with something. It was a simple task. Apparently Styx had gotten into trouble for something. But, as they soon later found out, that was not the case. After a bit of a terrifying run-in with the Matter Lord and the Null Lord, the group kind of got away just by a hair's breadth. Only then eventually meeting something that they never would have expected in the first place. They finally had a chance to go past the door that they had seen several days prior, and met with what could only be described as the intellect, the persona, the culmination of the will of the planes, known as the core. The core laid down several things for them, which all sort of culminated into a case of eventually you're going to be forced to choose. And what that choice will be a side of who you plan to help in the planes. Because when you choose one door, the other two are going to close. The group went back and forth, asked their questions, learned a thing or two, and eventually were brought back home in a flash of light, where they are currently now. Some of them decided to stay home and relax the day away, while others decided to go shopping. So,
we also had a pretty big reveal from Tibbs.
Tibbs revealed that he had made some sort of deal with the impeccable, unfathomable Yog Sothoth. And let's just say the group took that as well as you expect them to. So with that...
Fine.
With that, I will open the floor to you. Let me just double check on off the clock. Who currently is at home and who currently is out of the house?
I believe everyone is home but Rose.
Okay.
Yes, the homeowner is the only one who's away.
Okay. So, let's focus on the person that is currently away from the home. Rose, where are you heading to at present?
Well, having gotten a nice, I guess, kind of shiny new round toy from the pet shop for Nuggies. Rose would next be actually going to be looking for some kind of bookstore next.
Okay. And are you going to be looking in any of the particular districts, or where exactly are you planning to look?
Dice, roll the dice, roll the dice.
That's why I'm asking.
Find Matarak.
Hey, at least if that was the case, that yes, Rose would be in less trouble than all of you.
So let me Let me figure this out here real quick.
Actually, switch you guys over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Rose is actually gonna start heading towards the Void District.
Really? Okay. So, you leave the fire district because that is currently where your home is located, and you start going along the kind of inner ring of the Foundry. It is a huge kind of like a market type district that has a single road going in a huge circle kind of around the center, which is the council chambers. Kind of like this big giant market row in a way. You got several buildings along the way, market stalls and the like, and considering the fact that it's kind of mid-morning, it's pretty active. If you can, please give me a random 1d20.
Okay.
Okay. As you're kind of going along, you don't really run into any issue. No one really stands out to you. Nothing in general really stands out to you. You see the typical fare when it comes down to the plains. You see outsiders trying to barter with primordials at their stalls. Some people probably are new and don't understand how the favor system works, so you hear a couple arguments here and there. But for the most part, no one stops you on your way to the Void District. Now, coming to the district, it is a very different district than the Plane of Fires. It's almost as if when you step into it, nothing really changes that depicts the element itself. Outside of several buildings that look dilapidated, ruined in a way as if it was more the ruins of a district rather than a complete district in and of itself. But as you continue in further, you notice that there are several buildings that are being slowly rebuilt. There is scaffolding up, there is planks built up, pallets of stonework and the like being worked on, just to kind of rebuild and repurpose the entire district. Being a primordial yourself, you know why this is the case. Void has been through a harrowing time over the many eons. And it's no surprise that they're finally, after so long, are able to finally start rebuilding. As you kind of look around, trying to spy any sort of bookstore or library, can you go ahead and give me a perception check?
Ooh, perception.
Yes. All right. I'd say it wouldn't take you very long. Kind of right in the gate, past a couple of the old ruined buildings, you do spot kind of a tucked away little market corner, kind of like in a little alleyway sort of deal. It's a little claustrophobic in there, but as you kind of wind your way through there, probably ducking under a few overhangs, you eventually come to a small bookstore that's kind of tucked inside behind some old glass and old doors. It's pretty dark, but it's kind of lit by gentle candlelight. And as you kind of enter, it's not really so much of a door as kind of a curtain that you push back to enter. And inside the is lined with shelves upon shelves of old, new books, scrolls stuffed in between the cracks and the like, kind of like an old, musty bookseller in a way, with the halls and the walkways between each shelves kind of being very narrow and very close-knit.
Hmm.
You did not catch the name of the place, as you couldn't find one.
So, Barnes and Nowhere. Got it. Hello?
You don't immediately hear anyone answer you.
Are there any shadows that look discernible?
Not entirely. You are able to find a front desk. And on this front desk, outside of several different books and the like being stacked up here and there, you notice that there is a cat bed with a cat in it. There is a book next to it that looks like almost a sign-in sheet, and an ink and quill next to the cat. The cat is currently sleeping.
Rose will tilt their head a little bit, and then will give a shrug, pick up the quill, and sign their name in the book.
Next to the book, you also notice a note not so much a note, but a carving, a wood placard carving. It says, "Please feel free to take whatever you need. Make sure to sign what you take in the sign-in sheet and return it whenever you're able."
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, what you've essentially found is a public library. A little small one, but...
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, Rose is going to get to searching here, and probably their first thought is going to see if there are any... I would say, first of all, they're going to look for any books that are about summoning.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception. Okay. As you're kind of moving through some of the cramped little alleyways between the bookshelves, you eventually stumble on a section that seems to be related to magic. And you kind of spend, I say, several minutes there kind of perusing the titles before you kind of rest on the top shelf, where you kind of pull one book out. It's got a bit of a mossy green cover. The edges are kind of worn from use. But it does have a sigil on the front of it that is very reminiscent of the sigil's various uses to summon.
Alright. From there... yeah, Rose is actually going to then look to see if there's, like, any section that has, like, cookbooks or teaching cooking. Probably looking for something particular about, cooking, like, wildlife, like wild beasts or creatures.
So like a book about wild game and like...
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm going to need another perception check from you. You do find the cooking section. However, you can't seem to discern any that specialize wild game. Instead, you find several pastry books.
Rose will grab them anyways.
There's a total of 2 books about pastries. If you want to grab both of them, or just one.
Both of them.
Okay. Cook of Outsiders and Primer!
No. It's how to cook up for outsiders. Get it right.
But the first book you found doesn't have a name. It's just a sigil on the front of it. The other 2 is Flaky Pastries and You, and another one called Sweet and Savory.
Alright, do either of the pastry books at least have lots of pictures or illustrations?
Yes. In fact, as you kind of flip through Sweet and Savory, you can tell that the book is about sweet and savory style pastries. But each page will have the recipe, and on the page next to it will have an image of what it looks like.
So, Rose just kind of does a tally in their fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Also, for a note, all of these are written in Primordial. All 3 books.
Ooh.
Yay!
And I think finally, Rose is going to look for any. Well, oh wait, that's true. They've already. I was gonna say they. Rose was gonna look for a book about aberrations, but they kind of already did that back in water. So.
Mm-hmm. I believe Frias has that book right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Let's see here. You know, Rose is gonna go out on a limb and see, are there any books about Hopolitions or Gardanians? Just tossing out there.
I'm gonna have to say, roll me a perception at disadvantage.
Alrighty.
Would it be perception or investigation?
Oh, better question. I would say investigation then.
Okay. Hold on. We're going to, just in case. Oh, come on. This one. There you go. 9?
you start looking, you're kind of going through several of the books, and although you find some books about different civilizations, you feel as if this library is not specialized enough for looking up certain racial facts. For that, you may get an inkling that you may have to search for a larger library repository.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, that's fair. Yeah, Rose will go ahead with what they have in hand so far. We'll sign them out. Kind of, since the one book about summonings of the sigil just kind of makes like a very crude handwriting of the matching the cover on there for that one.
Okay. And as you write down each of the names, you would actually, next to the cat, see a small, like, little card box open. And from there, you see 3 little checkout cards appear, kind of almost being lifted by void-style magic. So a lot of stars, a lot of galaxies kind of encompassed in a purple mist. And as you write down each one, the date is written on one card, and it is instantly kind of slid into the book's cover. And it happens each time.
Interesting. Yeah. Rose will just give like an awkward nod to the cat, and then when you see if it responds, it's just gonna head back on out.
Okay. The cat didn't wake up. It was still asleep.
Also, I do apologize. There's a thunderstorm going through here, so if you hear anything in the background, it's
I
that.
heard that.
Yeah. Are you okay?
I mean, I took a look outside and I saw nothing but rain, so I'm sure it's fine.
But also, Rose, as you begin to leave, you do look back and notice that the cat was actually a black cat, but it was kind of wearing a little robe over it, kind of like the cat clothes that you would see some people put on cats.
Oh.
Do not bring one of those home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hmm?
There's the council chambers. They have a giant library.
Did you just hear a pigeon go by?
Hey, that's not a pigeon. I don't know what a pigeon sounds like.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
I'm
something like
pretty
that.
sure that's a dove.
Yeah.
oh, that,
I don't know. I don't know birds. Sorry.
Fair. But yeah, if we're going to continue on, I guess Rose, since they're already in Void, they're gonna see if there's like some kind of candy or wine shop next.
Candy or wine shop? I would say roll me investigation at advantage, and the 2 rolls will determine whichever one is higher, essentially, what you will find. So the first one will be the candy shop, the second one will be the wine shop. Whichever is higher, you will find.
All right.
Wine shop it is. So as you kind of leave the little kind of local library and back into this kind of like little cramped Market Row alleyway, you do kind of begin kind of mulling about there because there's a lot of shops down here. You see things from rune crafters to clothing and silk traders. But then as you kind of wound around to one corner, you see a kind of an old, surprisingly well-lit wine shop. You can see wine bottles lined across several shelves, very nicely decorated, a lot of wine barrels and displays. Like, this is almost as if you stepped into like a fancy wine shop, to the point where they even have little trays set up with like cheeses and breads and stuff like that, as well as a sign that says, "Please contact the front desk if you would like to try some of the wine." It is very well lit in here.
Rose will go up to the front desk. Do they see anyone there, or any like a
Do.
Oh, okay.
In fact, you see 2 people here. You didn't see him when you coming in, since you were kind of distracted by the actual look of the entire shop itself. But as you start to approach the front desk, you notice that there's a figure already talking with the wine concierge at the front of the desk. The figure is very lithe, very tall, but they have very, say, flowing, almost clothing, very showy. But they're very much a void primordial with a lot of star motifs about them. But they seem to be talking with the concierge, who is more on the side of a solar flare primordial, kind of like where they're dressed very nicely, very fancy, and almost a butler-esque style attire. But they seem to almost be made of pure raw plasma rather than having any facial features or anything. But they seem to be talking with this other void. And seeing you come in, the plasma elemental kind of motions for you to just pause for a second as they continue their conversation with the entity in front of them. Would you like to say anything or do anything?
Rose will, just give a shrug, hands go in the pockets of the blazer, and we'll just watch them finish up their business.
Okay. And after a couple minutes, you'll see the concierge kind of go behind one of the counters, pull out several bottles before setting it into what looks to be a wooden sort of carrying case, closing that up and bringing it back to the void primordial and kind of handing it over to them. There's a kind of silent nod between the two as the void primordial will turn around and just kind of walk past you to leave the store.
All right, and once the other void's gone, Rose will step on forward.
Okay. And the plasma primordial will, of course, nod their head to you. It's like, hello, I am terribly sorry. Had to make sure that a previous guest was taken care of. What may I do for you?
I'm looking for wine.
Any particular type?
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is all a little over my head. I basically... What sort of wine would you recommend for a fae?
We don't really deal in fae wines. We tend to prefer the ones that are sourced locally here in the plains. Really, the question you should be answering, or asking, that I can answer, is what do you plan to pair said wine with?
Roche just kind of does that one eyebrow going up. They're not very good at it. Their body's not built for it, so it looks really awkward. Pear?
As in rabbit?
Rose just kind of, it looks like taking it back. It's like, are we talking about the same kind of pairing here?
Oh, I mean, wines that usually are used for cooking or drinking based on the meal or the type of meal you are preparing.
Right.
I thought you said hair, honestly. Sorry.
That's okay. For drinking.
Drinking. Any particular meal, or was it going to be accompanying?
Things from was like, let's just say seafood.
Okay. Well, then you would probably want a nice white wine. We have several of those selections, specifically from the plane of water and from wind. Is there any particular preference or flavor profile you're looking for?
I'll take whatever is the strongest.
So you're looking for something that's aged?
Sure.
I feel like Eros shouldn't be the one stopping for wine here.
He's trying.
And you see the plasma primordial. They don't really have any facial features, but you could definitely kind of get the gist of that. They're like, oh, one of these people. All right, then. How about this? And they'll go over to one particular rack, seem to count down a couple before taking out a bottle of wine. You can definitely tell that the insides are almost clear, almost a cream white color, but still very much transparent.
Oh,
I heard that.
oh no!
It's good.
That's
It's good.
horrible
It's good.
But they'll kind of bring the bottle of wine over and show you. This in particular is from the Plain of Water, is from one of the more refined distilleries, typically around the Atlantis border. They are known for pairing it with several white fishes as well as general seafood in general. This is currently aged at a total of 2 centuries.
OOC. Damn.
You forget they got time to kill.
Yeah, I think that would do the trick then.
Very well. And you'll see them kind of reach over to the side, take a sticker, peel it off from their sort of logbook, and then place it around the neck of the bottle. Do you wish for a carrying case, or are you taking this straight to your residence?
A case would probably work best.
Alright. And they will take out what looks to be a long wooden wine case, kind of slide open the top, and inside of it, of course, is padded, because they take this very seriously. They'll set the wine bottle in there, and then slide the lid on, basically creating a nice little solid wood case for it, and kind of slide it over to you.
Alright, we'll take it to their side. Yeah, I think that will about do it.
Okay. Is there anything else I can help you with?
You know what? You were mentioning something about cooking, lines for cooking, right?
Of course, wine's going to be used for not just drinking, after all.
What would you suggest for if you're cooking over, say, with a lot of flame?
Ah, so you're going to want a fire whiskey for that one. And they will actually head over to another section of the wall. You've noticed that as you look at a lot of these displays, they're all decorated based off of the plane that they come from. Like, the plane of wind will have a lot of green wood and jade kind of on the glass itself, and fire tends to have a lot of blackened wood and gold trimming. And they'll actually take out a little bit more of a stout bottle, and it's filled with a bright amber liquid in a very nice kind of smoky bottle.
Ooh, fancy.
This one in particular is a favorite of the Fire Lord, from what I have learned. It is good for making stews as well as marinating meats for grilling.
Yeah, that should work just fine then.
It is also fire resistant, so the alcohol still remains even after being cooked.
Yeah, that's fine.
And he'll ask the same question. Do you want a case for this, or would you like it delivered to your home?
Case as well.
And they'll do the same, but they'll take out a much stouter box and put that bottle in there, close it up, and push it over to you.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm all good to go here.
They'll call that a nod job before they go on to replace the stock that they have given you. So they're gonna go through some of the back area and kind of bring out some new bottles to replace the ones that they have given you.
Rose will nod and step on out. And as they head back outside, they will look down to the bottles they got for a moment. It's like, and we'll just kind of look around.
What are you looking for?
Like, we're not looking for anything in particular, but just kind of has that look on their face, like, what did I just do?
And as Rose deliberates on what exactly they have done or anything, let us switch back to everyone who is currently at the house. In particular, Various. What are you doing?
Various has brought over a cup of tea for Tibbs and has gotten up into a seat. So,
I know. They don't really have the best taste in tea.
he lightly laughs. Slowly takes a sip of his. It's. I suppose we are going to need to do some shopping ourselves at some point.
Why before?
Better tea. And probably just some things other than meat. Not sure if we have much in the way of vegetables left.
The phrase is little
Yes.
midnight snacking. I guess that is true. I'm sure you'd be able to pick up what we'd need. I can stay here and not have to go out.
Now, why do you want to stay here? Oh.
Don't really want to go out. Just prefer not having to deal with individuals who'd want to kill me on sight if I were out at the wrong hours. That's all.
And he leans back in his seat.
I mean, think about it. None of them would shed a tear if one of us were to be killed in the street. They'd be like, "Oh, a forgotten shoe. Ooh."
Now, who are you
Yeah,
talking about? Our
So, the primordials that aren't Rose.
maybe, but maybe not all of them.
No, but it's 50-50. I prefer having the odds in my favor. But if you want to go out, I suppose you'll need someone to give you some kind of fashion advice.
I have perfectly fine sense of fashion.
Yes, you have a perfectly fine sense of fashion for back home. But here, it's just, no.
Do you think that they'd appreciate, anyone back home would appreciate this? And he shows, he leans back so the vest is more visible along with the scale pattern on it.
I think back home you'd be in the circus if you were wearing that, which is why I'm discussing this with you. I'm just trying to look out for you, Varys.
Uh-huh. Have you seen what anybody else here wears?
Sorry, what was that, Jin?
Have you seen what anybody else here wears?
Honestly, I try to avert my eyes.
Wow!
It sounds like you want to go shopping for some new fashions.
I can make my own quite well. Fine, twist my arm. We'll go
Wait,
out shopping.
When was the last time that you actually washed that without a spell?
You can wash them without spells?
Varys just stares at him for a moment.
Tiberius just stares back in the exact same facial expression.
Yes, you can.
Why would you?
Disgusting.
The magic takes care of it all. There's no chance of anything being left behind by inferior ways.
There's something nice about the fresh smell after a fresh cleaning.
That's called prestidigitation. You can do that as well. Look.
Yes,
He
but
ca-
it doesn't.
He's gonna cast prestidigitation on his clothing to make it smell like lilacs. See?
Does your spell
Okay,
take care of?
So, since you cast Prestidigitation, you need to roll wild magic first.
Of
Oh
course.
no! Oh no!
Got him.
Cast fireball in the
Okay,
house.
you're fine.
Oh.
Okay, you're fine. It's like, oh yeah, Foundry still has wild magic. Here's a reminder.
See? Smells great. Lasts for an hour. Not a problem. Prestidigitation gets rid of the smell. Everything comes off, and then you just make a smell as you see fit. It's truly Magic 101.
Oh, you smell alright.
How did your magic do?
Perfectly fine. Smell.
Yes, you smell like flowers.
I would like you to actually roll me an investigation check there, Various.
Oh no.
With a hint.
Squid.
Oh
Squid
god.
Oh.
flowers.
So, Various, you're smelling some serious bullshit on this because you know that magic is not so much a case of it completely does something. You know the inner workings of these things. It's more of a mask to cover
Oh,
up
no.
everything
How-
else. So you can smell the lilacs, but you can definitely smell the funk that is of unwashed clothes.
Technically, prestidigitation and mend are spells he has, which is what he uses.
I know. But it doesn't count for the body.
What are you implying, Nova?
Implying that someone needs to eat Tiberius in a fountain.
He got yeeted into that sewer water and it's perfectly fine.
Oh.
Yeah, you definitely but you do smell the lilacs, very but you also smell sewer water.
And Various, his nose curls up a little bit. That's it. We're asking Rose to install a bath.
Well, that will be interesting. I mean, he is made of fire.
Oh. Would that harm him? And he's sort of thinking about it.
You don't know.
If we purchase some kind of tub and throw it in, then I don't think
I
they'd feel quite anything if we made sure none of the water splashed off of it.
I mean, we have some running water for tea and such. So that's not harming him.
I have an idea.
What?
Tiberius is then going to do chromatic orb of water at the wall.
Wild magic first.
Yep.
Oh no! Oh, Rose! Oh no!
Yeah, oh god. Yeah, you cast it, Rose. As this is happening, you feel a very strong, sizzling, burning sensation inside of you. As if someone just tried to pour water on a furnace.
You're the furnace.
Rose is probably still wandering through void, so Rose suddenly just kind of like hunches over, almost like a sudden stomach ache for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Basically, and inside the house, you see the chromatic water orb just creating tons of steam wherever it hits.
I'm not sure that was the
If Rose comes back saying that there was some kind of discomfort, then we'll know. What?
let's not repeat that until we know.
I didn't plan on it, but it's an excellent experiment. What?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
Now, then perhaps you want to bring some of this tea to Flix. I don't think he was in the best of moods last we heard of him.
Well, no. Sort of been through quite a bit. No! No! Dad, you don't know!
But
Rose can deduce. I mean,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
essentially, Rose, you had the feeling of basically a stomach ulcer, I'd say.
It was the waffles.
Yeah.
Do I have to make a roll to determine whether or not it was the waffles?
I would say...
I don't think primaries have a digestive tract.
They don't. No, they don't. It just kind of burns up into nothing. You know for a fact, Rose, that food doesn't affect you. You know for a fact.
Except alcohol.
Except alcohol. But you know
Because
for
you
a
don't
fact
have a
you-
liver.
Yeah, it's like you don't have a digestive system. You don't have any of that. So food shouldn't be affecting you. Something else is.
Oh, God damn, we're gonna have a talk when we get back.
I have expected the wall to attack me. Flix, are you thirsty?
Where is Flex?
There is just like sad moping crying coming from the other room.
Yeah, I believe he's thirsty.
All right, I will make him some tea. Oh, and his. Okay, I have an idea. And he starts to get up and looking around. Where did Pyra go?
Where did your little dragon go? Where'd you put them down last?
Where'd you leave it? But he's gonna start getting some tea ready for Flicks.
Mm-hmm. But where did you leave your dragon at?
On the on the floor that they're on, and she is currently chasing sleepily at this point Frias's tail.
Okay. And is failing to try to bite onto it because tiny baby.
Tiny baby.
If anything, your little baby dragon seems to be more tripping over itself and its exhaustion. Frias, what are you doing?
One hand is petting the feathered little one. The tail is obviously preoccupied, and currently just writing writing information from 2 books into another book in the library.
And Flix, of course, is using the couch as his sad couch.
It's a sad couch. He's reading things and dropping sparkles and crying and then eating and then crying some more and then drinking a lot.
All right. So as the group kind of winds down inside the house, let's turn back over to Roos. How are you feeling after that shock of pain there?
Well, it would likely subside after a moment or two.
Mm-hmm.
And once that little episode is over, Rose is going to continue on and see where they're going to next here.
Where are they going? 5.
They're going to the Matter District.
Now, what are you looking for in the Matter District?
Death?
Now, the Matter District is right next to the Void District, so it doesn't take very long for you to get there. And upon arriving there, unlike Void, the entire area almost shifts to looking more akin to what you would see in the Plane of Matter. The ground, of course, starts to shift into the more fleshy tones, with the sidewalks being made of bone and the like. The trees, very much similar, and the architecture also matches that of the Matter District. Even the sky itself is turning several shades of red the closer you get to the main portal. There are many shops set up here, more residential than anything else, but more importantly, it's almost like a crowded city street with several large angular buildings kind of towering over you in a sense, almost as you're going through several different varying alleyways. What are you looking for here?
Rose is going to be looking for like some kind of import or just exotic food shop.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll.
Oh, make sure back to normal. Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't say you find anything super exotic, considering this is the Plane of Matter, so what you do find is a butcher house instead. So you have a kind of an open, like a kind of patio area with several meats that are strung up being dried in the air, and just different kind of like cabinets and the such, kind of filled with different sliced meats and the like, and a butcher's counter where there is a matter that seems to have their quote-unquote hair tied back. It looks more like a gaggle of bones that are tied up to look like a hand behind their head. they look very much like a typical matter. The large ears, the rusty red skin, the golden bangles, and the like.
Excuse me.
They'll kind of look up to you after bringing a cleaver down on what looks to be a chicken's neck. Just, boom.
Yeah, I'm looking for some meat. Anything you specialize in?
Well, we kind of specialize in several things, namely smaller animals. If you want something a bit larger, you're going to need to go into the main plane itself. Are you looking for fowl, dragon, mammal, lizard?
Anything but rabbit.
That's a strange request. They're kind of plucking the feathers off of this bird, and we'll kind of set it aside. It's like, well, what are you aiming to do with the meat? Stew, grill, saute, boil,
Let's
eat raw.
not quite the raw part today. But I would say probably something for like something you can make a lot of meals out of. So I guess like a stew or something like that.
Okay, so you're looking for stewed meat. Okay, and they kind of go through some of the like the butcher counters, like kind of these little glass display cases, and we'll kind of pull out what looks to be a large raw roast in a way. It's a kind of a red color, but you see a lot of marbling of white going through this. This one is imported from outside. It is beef. Really good for stew. You have to chop it into smaller quarters though.
Oh, alright. Yeah, that should work.
Alright. How much of it would you like? Would you like the whole roast or half roast?
Let's go with the whole one.
Okay. And they'll begin to wrap it up in butcher's paper.
Now I know they usually you said it's from outside. I know the outsiders, they tend to put stuff like, what do you call it? Seasoning, that's it. Anything like that you also carry?
I do not carry spice blends. You would have to go across the way. If you would like to pay for it in favor, I have a delivery to take to that place if you would like to carry that out. They may also reward you for your time as well.
Sure, that's fine with me.
And after they wrap up the meat in butcher paper and, of course, tied up a string, they will then take out what looks to be an envelope, a rather thick envelope, and kind of set on top of the wrapped up roast and kind of slide it over the counter to you. Thank you.
Of course, no trouble at all. We'll take the bundle of meat in the envelope and we'll hightail it over to the other location.
And they've kind of motioned for you to head down another little alleyway that's kind of like right across from the store. And as you kind of move down this alleyway, you eventually come to a kind of an outdoor stall that has just big tubs of spices that are piled up high. And you got multiples of different types, including small trays that seem to have multiple spices piled up, spices that have not been ground or are currently roasting as well on like almost an open wok fire. And there is another Mana Primordial dealing with that there. They're more traditional type with, I would say that their hair is kind of at least it looks like congealed blood, but it's a little on the shorter side, almost like it's a kind of moved to one side, kind of like an emo cut in a way. But they seem to be attending to the spices that are currently in the wok. And the entire area kind of just smells of like roasted spice.
You got a moment there.
Hello, can I help you? They will kind of turn the heat down on the wok because it is literally just blazing fire underneath it.
Rose will pull out the envelope, hand to him. You got mail.
Ah, fantastic, fantastic, thank you. They will pluck the envelope from your hand and kind of set it off to the side. Is there anything else I can help you with, since you completed a nice little favor for me?
Yeah, I was sent over here by the nearby butcher.
Mhm.
What exactly are you doing in that pan?
What I am doing is currently roasting several raw seeds and pods in order to grind up into roasted spice. It helps empower the flavor of the spices, you see.
Huh. I suppose in return for this favor, any chance, you could grant me some of that?
Sure. They will actually begin to. They'll take the wok off the fire, kind of kill the fire a little bit more, because they're kind of using like a little charcoal grill in a way, but they're using air to bolster the fire a bit more. But they'll take the wok off and kind of begin to scrape the spice blend into what looks to be a mortar and pestle, or a more advanced one, at the very least, where they kind of pour it in from the top and then they can actually grind it there. But they'll kind of use a ladle to kind of scoop everything into there, and I would say after about 5 minutes, they begin to grind it down into a very bright red paste, almost. And once they finish, they'll kind of scoop up the paste, kind of put it into a little round container, close up the container, and then kind of hand it over to you. It's like, thank you.
Yeah. Rose kind of reaches over to like gingerly grab it because they're still balancing like the wine
Mhm.
cases and like the books under one arm and such.
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Maybe you should go look into dropping those off somewhere before you drop something.
Yeah, I was just about to go do that. I got some.
Safe travels.
Yep, same to you as well. And yeah, realizing the weight of the situation, Rose is going to start heading back to the house.
Quite a weighty situation indeed. And I'm gonna wait back to the house. Can you roll me a random 1d20?
Oh, I can probably do that.
Ah, okay. I'd say you actually get back faster than you originally set out. No one gets in your way. In fact, most people tend to get out of your way when they notice that you're carrying a bunch of stuff. But you make it home, no problem.
Okay. Rose kind of will lean up against the front door and just try to like wrap it with the back of their knuckles. Is anyone still in there? My arms are a little full.
Who wants to open the door?
Probably Freyas.
Freya's is in the library. You don't know what the layout of the house is.
There he is. Someone's knocking on the door.
Wow.
Wow.
It's accurate.
Yeah. I mean, Flux, you can hear the knocking, but I think you're too busy being sad. Tim?
Jean?
You there?
They're muted.
Oh.
I'm dumb. Really dumb.
Pat.
I do the same thing.
Oh, okay. Various is gonna set down the tea they were preparing. They're making a bigger cup since Flix is much taller than they are. And is gonna hurry towards the front door.
Okay.
And pull it open.
And as you open it, you see Rose is standing there with a lot of things in their arms.
Welcome back.
It's good to be welcomed. Excuse me. And it's just going to like head over to the table and just like double strong arm everything onto it.
And yeah, Rose got a lot of stuff, as you guys can see. There's some books. There seems to be some wooden cases. There is a big, I'd say, hold on. 5-pound roast of something, or at least 5-pound thing of meat, as well as a little tub of spices. Well, yeah, roast came back with quite a lot, as well as a single solid rubber toy ball.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why delivery is such a popular option around here.
Yes. We don't exactly have a cart, do we?
No, you don't.
But anyways, Rose will kind of rummage through the books and will hand over to Various, the one with the sigil on the cover. I don't know if this necessarily covers any new ground for you, but figured it might be worth looking into for your purposes.
He blinks up at them and looks at the book and slowly takes it. Oh, thank you.
Various, you recognize the symbol on the front of the book.
Uh-oh.
You've seen this book before.
Uh-oh.
But more importantly, this was a book that you had only gotten to see. You didn't get a chance to read this one. In fact, as you're kind of looking over the cover, you're starting to remember a little something about this book. This particular book was considered to be forbidden by your superiors, the people who were teaching you magic. And you had wanted to read this book some time ago.
What language is it in?
You'll notice that it's actually in Primordial. So you begin to open the book, and you notice that the language is in fact in Primordial. What makes you wonder was the original book you found like this, the same way.
You see his brows furrow as he looks over the cover and looks up at them for a moment and then back down. Thank you. This... apologies. I need to get Flex their tea, and then I need to head out for something, fairly quickly, and... Yes. Thank you. Really.
Sure, no problem.
He tucks it underneath his arm and starts towards the back into the kitchen and picks up the big mug of tea and starts back towards the living room where Flix is.
Flix, Various has just brought you a nice big cup of tea.
Cup of tea?
Mm-hmm.
That's not wine.
Rose will next come through. Yeah, because the living room would be connected to the kitchen, I suppose. So, yeah, Rose will next come through, still carrying the books, and also will bring over to Flix a case as well. And inside there is a very sort of like white, clear-colored liquid inside, in this very fancy bottle.
Thank you. I take the box of wine and then the tea as well.
Flix, as you open the box of wine, you realize Rose got you something real nice. Like, this is a 2-century aged white Zinfandel wine. This is the expensive stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you know that you would need a bubble bath, some nice hors d'oeuvres, and just a day to yourself to drink.
How long are we in this house for?
I don't think we've ever really discussed that. As
Sorry,
long as we
like,
need.
how long are we going to be in this house for?
That's up to you guys.
I think as long as we're here?
Okay, I need hors d'oeuvres and a bath run. I'll be
Wha-
back.
wha-
No one's using the bathroom. It's mine. And he skitters
Oh.
off.
And probably several candles.
Various slowly looks up at Rose and then back at the now empty couch.
Well, that seems to have placitated him.
Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is Various asking Rose. Do water baths hurt you? Like, if they're in the house and somebody has a tub? Or do we need to buy a tub?
I'm going to defer to the DM on this one.
You can create one, you know that for a fact. But if you wanted something fancier, or if you wanted something specific, you'd have to find a way to procure one.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever works for you.
Rose will look back down at Various. If we just need like somewhere to bathe that's not a problem. I can definitely make room for that.
Also, I'm not responsible for that. And he points at the wall or towards the kitchen, and then sort of starts to hurry up towards his room.
Rose just looks back over at the section wall, narrows her eyes, just says quietly, "I know, Various. I know." Well, following that, Rose would head towards the library, where I'm assuming that's where Frias is still at.
Mm-hmm. And as you walk in, you see that Frias is using one hand to write in a journal or a book. The other hand is petting Nuggy. If I'm gonna call it that from now on. You can't stop me. And you can see the baby dragon is on the floor playing with Frias' tail. Kind of like a kitten chasing a string.
Alright. How's your work going, Frias?
It's going all right. Just getting whatever I've gotten down from here into, the book I've been referring to.
Well, I wasn't quite sure what you need as far as reference goes, but I know you've, been our cook more or less recently, so we'll show Frias the pastry books that they found.
Not sure if Flix needs more reasons to get his teeth done, but I'm sure the rabbits will enjoy these.
Yeah. I also brought back some meat and some I guess kind of native spices around here. Figured out if you felt like doing anything with those, it would be something a little bit different from the norm.
Yeah, we kind of have a lot of meat right now. We're probably going to need to make it different once in a while.
Yeah, true. Okay, I'm actually legitimately blanking out. So, yeah, Rose found the books and the pastries, found the book on summoning. I can't remember what the third type of book was they found.
It was another pastry book.
Oh, okay.
One was called Sweet and Savory,
Mhm.
and the other one was called Flaky Pastries and You.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's been a week. I could have sworn that Rose was looking for a third subject, and it just blanked out my head.
Oh. He
Yeah.
was, or they were, but they didn't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, they realized they need to go to a more encompassing library, or a library that was more
Right.
dedicated to that specific subject, which was you were looking for a book on abolitions.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
What was the other book title? The Flaky Pastries and You and...
Sweet and Savory.
Thank you.
Both were books on pastries. One was a mixture of different sweet and savory pastries, and the other one was different dough types and different types of pastries in general. So one was more of an introductory book to the whole concept. The other one was branching off from it. Both by the same author.
Who's the author?
The author is called Mephisto.
I watched enough WandaVision to know that is not good.
That's fine.
When do the pentagrams get involved?
It's fine.
That's a curse word.
Hey, I'm allowed to curse. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
But anyways, how have the little ones been doing?
Yours seems to be rather tired. The other one, I think, is getting worn out, at least. It looks back at the one flopping on the floor, trying to grab at the tail.
So, the little dragon has your tail. It's doing the little bunny kick thing that kittens do with it.
No. Wow.
I would like to point out for you, the only reason you know who the author is because you can read Infernal.
Nice.
Roast, you have no idea. You can't read it.
Nope.
You can make out the title, but not the author.
Nope. This is just an innocent book about flaky treats.
Yeah. Because people are allowed to have hobbies. Just saying.
But Rose will lean down, seeing the raptor is tuckered out, and will very gingerly try to scoop it up in their arms.
Roll me an animal handling.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Oh! It is too tired to try to fight back. It was curled up and cozy, and the moment you start picking it up, it just lets out this little as it's picked up.
The baby.
Like when you disturb an animal from a nap.
Rose
And
is
it's kind of flopped in your arms right now. It's tired.
Rose is looking legitimately stunned for a moment. Like, this is the first time they've recalled, aside from when she was babysitting, but yeah, like, Rose was fully expecting the raptor to start, like, cleaning on a part of them. And it's just kind of looking down in awe almost at this, yeah, it's like kind of tuckered out, little creature kind of lean into their arms.
Mm-hmm. And once it kind of readjusts itself in Rose's arms, it'll kind of tuck its head in, go back to sleep.
Don't mean to be a killjoy, but we should probably start naming at least one of these two. It's going to get confusing when we just say the little ones.
I'm sure Various probably has something worked out for the dragon. As for this raptor here, Roche kind of thinks for a moment. I think I'll call this one Ridley.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. I love it. Make sure you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And don't give it any cannons.
Don't bring it to Void. It'll want to go after bounty hunters.
That's what I was getting at, yeah!
Oh, gee, it's good thing there's no super missiles in this house.
As you're talking, Rose, you see that the little tiny wyvern dragon will start looking up in your direction.
Rose looks back down at it, just kind of locks eyes.
It's not so much looking at you directly. It doesn't seem to be able to completely discern where you're at. But it then resumes doing the bunny kicks on Freya's tail.
Anyways, I'm gonna go get this one to more. I'm gonna get Ridley into a more comfortable spot, and we'll just nod to Freya's and head upstairs to their room. Once they do get upstairs, they'll actually go ahead and set the Ridley on their pillow, and will pull out of their pocket the rubber ball, and will just kind of set it against the pillow, kind of against one side of their claws.
Okay.
And
But for the most part, the little pocket raptor just curls back up to go back to sleep.
And yeah, Rose will just close the door, heading it back out, and we'll just kind of go down to the living room and just sort of plops down where Flix was before.
Okay. Is there anything in particular anyone wants to do at this present moment?
Various would like to. Various is grabbing their black onyx pipe that they have and is planning to go to the pet store.
Okay. Is anyone else going to go with Various, or is Various going to go alone?
If he's going to be leaving the building, Tiberius will tag along just to make sure he doesn't go and buy more of that clothing.
Oh, he's also gonna bring his jewelry box.
Okay. But, yeah, Tibbs, you do see that Various is gathering a couple of their belongings before heading to the door.
Oh, I see we're doing this now. Very well. Lead the way, Burrows. He puts the cantrips on himself to hide the scars, etc.
Wild magic.
Yep. Damn.
That is a no.
Oh no.
Alrighty, give me a 1d100 Tibbs.
Dog, you promised.
This is not your wild magic doing it. Tibbs, this is not something that came from within you. This is something that began to coalesce in the very air itself. This is the wild magic that's been affecting the Foundry, and as you begin to try to cast Prestidigitation, you notice that the magic, unlike its usual prismatic sheen, begins to take on a sickly green glow as you cast Ray of Sickness on yourself. So let me look up the spell real quick. So this sort of green energy begins to settle on top of you, so I need you to make a ranged spell attack against yourself. And you can see this. Everyone that's in the living room can see that there's green energy is starting to form around Tibbs. Does a 22 hit you?
Oh, yeah.
You see this blast of green energy hit into Tiberius. Go ahead and roll me a 2d6 for damage. And then make me a con saving throw.
Oh! Can't go to school today, Ma. I'm kind
So,
of sick.
let me paint this picture for you. You all begin to see him try to cast one of his spells in his usual flourish, but instead of sheen, you see a sickly green glow instead begin to coalesce around Tibbs. And in a flash, you see it just barrel into him, causing almost this energy to seep into him, and he begins to look ghastly sick as his fur almost looks a little darkened around the edges as he becomes poisoned and takes 5 points of poison damage. You're now poisoned for the next hour.
Tibbs.
So Rose sees this from the couch.
Yes!
Rose just kind of leans up onto one arm, looking towards where Tibbs is at. And what did we learn today, Tibbs?
Nothing. I am leaving.
Tibbs, you feel sick to your stomach.
Yes, he's going to his room to lie down.
Mm-hmm.
Were you about to do something, Various?
Yes, I was going to step out since the curfew is up and.
Yeah, I can go with you. That's fine. If yeah, obviously Tibbs is in no shape at the moment. I can spare a little more time.
I love
Yeah.
that someone in chat says, after the what did you learn today, it's like not to eat the humble pie.
Various does look worried towards the stairs and then starts towards the door. Okay.
Rose will follow Various out.
So there's a couple places I wanted to go and an extra place now.
Okay. Where would you like to go first?
The first place he wants to go is the pet shop.
To Zealous' Exotic Pets?
Yep.
Alright. And you know where the place is. You find it no problem. The front door is still open, as it always is.
And he starts to lead the way in and has already has the pipe in hand and is
And I'd say that you come across the owner quite quickly. Unlike who was here beforehand, Rose, there is a fox-looking shopkeeper here instead, who is tending to several sort of smoky black birds.
hello?
Oh, hello there, little ones. Good to see you again. I see you've brought a friend.
Yes. I was wanting to pick up a few things, and I have this for trade. I know that you were running low on these. On this material, I believe.
And he will take the flute from you. It's like, why, this is made of pure onyx. I would be happy to trade this for something. What do you have in mind?
A few things. Now, OC, did Rose let them know back at the house that they were going to the pet store earlier?
Nope.
Okay, so Varys is like, well, we need to get a few things. There are in the home that we're sharing or grooming or we have 2 water snakes and we have a small feathery thing and
A raptor.
All right. Fascinating. And I know you have your little dragon as well. How
Yes.
is she doing?
she's been doing well. She's very curious. I'm going to probably need some more peppers soon.
As to be expected, yes.
But what would that pipe be able to get us in terms of supplies?
They kind of seem to wait in their hand before kind of bring it up to their eyes, and you see them briefly open. They have kind of amber, orangey colored eyes as they kind of look over the pipe. Well, this is made from pure onyx, so I'd say that gives you quite a bit of wiggle room.
All right, so we do need some supplies, and probably, I'm guessing, what do you think? What do you think your raptor would need, Rose?
Rose will look over to Zelos. I'm not entirely sure myself. I was in here earlier, and I guess your associate did give me a toy for Ridley. And-
Oh, yes, I was out at brunch earlier, so I had my assistant cover for me for a little bit. They're not quite as trained in the pet trade as I am.
Yeah, I kind of knows that. But anyways, I did get a toy for it. I guess probably also could use a bed or somewhere of its own to rest in as well.
Mhm. Well, if memory serves me right, when it comes down to the little tiny raptors, they usually typically eat meat, oftentimes raw. They don't eat much, but when it comes down to bedding, really anything will do. They'll make a nest at about anything, but they tend to favor building their own nests from things that they find comfort in. So my recommendation, find a box, strew about several different little things around the room and see what they make.
Okay.
And do they need anything for grooming?
Well, considering they are very avian and like, not really, as they tend to molt every so often, but they tend to do that well themselves. General cleaning and bathing still applies, of course, but that is with all things.
All right. Do you have a box that we could use?
I do. Would you like one made of wood, stone? Are you looking for a fabric style box? Or what do you, I'd say more the case of what do you think fits the style more?
Various looks up at Rose.
Because we have foldable boxes as well.
I'm sorry, what kind of boxes?
Foldable.
Oh. Yeah, one of the foldy ones. Yeah, that would be good.
Mm-hmm. And they'll kind of go around one part of the store and go through a cabinet before pulling out what looks to be a flat, almost plywood board, but it does fold out into a hollow box.
And
I know. But
and
they'll kind of unfold the box in front of you. It kind of does a little like a one-handed little, and then they'll do a little twist of their hand and fold it back up, kind of like how you do with car windshield protectors and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of made of a fabric.
And do they maybe something to chew on that isn't one of us?
I got Ridley a toy when I was in here before.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I will say this now. We'll be taking our 15-minute break here because I do need to go eat. If that is all right with everyone?
Mhm.
Okay, so we will be back in 15 after I consume food. So get your drinks, get some snacks, and we'll be back to this chill episode.
Enjoy your food.
I will. Soup.